y'all. Welcome back to In the Blind podcast. My name is Eric Gunderson. This is my co-host, Stephen Barker-Lyles.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
We are Love and Theft, and today we are joined by a guy that we have been huge fans of for a long time. Played a bunch of shows over the years together. He's broken records, has some crazy stories, and we are thrilled to have him here today. Y'all make welcome Mr. Walker Hayes.
What's up? Thanks for having me, fellas. Appreciate it.
You.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah.
I like the setup.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Happy
like
New
we're
Year,
hunting.
man.
Yeah. Back at you.
Yeah, how's your 2026 so far?
Dude, it's good. My family and I just got back from Alabama yesterday.
That's where you're
Maybe
from,
2
right?
days ago, but we went hunting there because
Nice.
hunting season, you still got like a month
Oh,
down there.
It's longer there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it ends like early February.
I didn't know
so
that.
we usually catch another month, by driving down. My in-laws live in Greenville, Alabama, but
Nice.
yeah, we had a good weekend. The weather was pretty bad, but it cleared up the last 2 days. And my son, we're big bow hunters,
Nice.
and he got a doe.
Nice.
My nephew got one. My daughter got a little buck with a rifle. So
That's
we
cool.
brought home.
Freezer filling.
Yeah,
for
dude,
this-
we had a
yeah.
good trip, and
good.
And how many kids do you have total?
I have six.
6, okay.
And then one of our nephews, their cousin, my kid's cousin, his name is Hayes, and he hangs out with us. He does a lot of like fishing, hunting YouTubes and stuff.
That's
so
cool.
he's a riot, man. We love having him around.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's cool.
So
Yeah,
he's his first name is
his
Hayes?
name's Hayes. Yeah, it's wild.
Is
They
his
named
last
him
name Hayes
Hayes.
too, or is he on your wife's side?
His name is Hayes Stanley.
Okay.
And I think he's around 14, and my kids are 20 to 10. So every 2
Okay.
years, daughter Leela, she's 20. Chapel, my son's 18. Baylor is 16. Beckett's 14. My daughter Loxley's 12, and my daughter Everly is 10.
Dang.
Those are
So,
all
yeah.
awesome names.
2 years
Yeah.
Those are
2
really
years
cool.
apart was cool. I grew up with 5, and we were all like 2 years apart.
Yeah,
It was
you,
nice.
you get along? Like y'all
Yeah.
still hang?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Good.
It's nice.
Yeah, I hope that's my. I mean, I'm sure they're like, Dad, shut up. But I'm always like, dude, y'all. Those are your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Like
Yeah.
you're gonna. Yeah,
So
we're gonna be
true.
gone.
Yeah.
And I want y'all to. So when they fight, I'm always like, just, move on.
Yeah.
Like y'all need each other.
Yeah,
later
for
in
sure.
life. So
That's good dad advice
Yeah.
for real.
I just lost my sister like a month and a half ago to alcoholism. And
did you really, man?
Yeah, like we were 3 years apart.
Yeah.
And there was always like just this weird like
I'm
competition
sorry.
most of our lives. But then when she got to college, like we became really
Yeah.
close and had like a great relationship for like 5 or 6
Yeah.
years. And then the alcohol got
Man,
really bad, and then she just kind of went downhill.
dude,
But
I'm
same-
so sorry.
Oh, thank you. But
Were you in? Did you talk to her much last year?
yeah, I
Or-
mean, she had moved out here about 10 years ago. She
Yeah.
got married, ended up getting divorced, and that was kind of what started the spiral for her. And then just I lost my mom 2 years ago to the same thing. So
Goodness.
I think she kind of just saw that, and
Yeah.
she could have made the choice to pull herself out of
Yeah.
it and not go down the exact
Yeah.
same path, but she decided that she's just going to check out.
Yeah.
It seemed like, I mean, even when she was dying, she was like, I know I'm dying. I don't really care. And
Yeah.
I feel like it had just messed up her brain so much. And
Yeah.
it was weird. She'd been sober for almost 90 days in the hospital.
No
was
way.
discharged to go home to like hospice care, and she thought she'd be able to, pull through.
Yeah.
The day she got home, she drank like 3 bottles of vodka and
No way.
immediately went back to the ER, just puking blood.
Dude.
And that was 10 days later, she was gone. But,
Yeah.
but hearing you talk about your kids that
Yeah.
way, it's like that's what I'm trying to do with my 2 boys. They're 6 years apart.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. They love each other. They take care of each
Yeah.
other. And I'm grateful for that distance kind of between them
Mm.
because there's not the competition that was there between me and my sister.
Yeah.
I have friends that have, siblings that are all, 10, 12 months
Yeah.
apart, and they're the best of friends.
Right.
Family's a weird thing. It's like you don't.
Dude,
always get
it
to,
is.
like, I
I'm the
would've loved
last
to
of
have
9
that, but-
kids, and we have a lot
I
of
didn't know
that.
that.
What you're talking about?
I
We
didn't
do a
know
lot
that.
of addiction,
Yeah.
and as an addict, man, it's just tough.
It is.
When you see, you can relate to a struggle, but then when you see somebody, and I have a brother who I haven't talked to him in 8 years, and sadly, I think it's the bet. I've
Yeah.
got to step away
Yeah.
and just hope and pray one day he wakes up and he's like, I want this for myself,
Yeah.
you know. But dude, I just hurt for you. I know. I mean, I'm not in your shoes, but I understand
Well,
that
thank you.
grief, man. It's
I mean, I have goosebumps right now from
yeah.
what you just said, just because I've been battling with, because I did put some serious boundaries
Yeah.
in place, and
Yeah.
like, kind of pulled, like, like before my mom died, you know, and before I had to kind of cut her off, she'd come to my house for, you know, for
Yeah.
Christmas, drop my son down the stairs,
Yeah.
knocked me off of like an 18-foot ladder just because she's stumbling around drunk.
Yeah.
And then now looking back on it, there was, I think, some maliciousness to
Yeah.
it, and I don't think her intent was great. But so I set those boundaries, and then for the last, you know, month and a half for sure, but even since she died, I've been thinking, okay, were those boundaries healthy?
Yeah.
And if I hadn't set such strict boundaries, would they maybe still
Will
be
we
here?
be here? Yeah.
But then again, I've been sober for 10 and a half years now, and if I didn't have those boundaries, I was feeling my own sobriety, you know, I was having cravings, I was having
Yeah.
things that were triggering me, and I was like, man, I have to have this separation.
Yeah.
Or how am I going to be the man I need to be for my family if I
Yeah.
relapse and fall back into this because I was trying to save them?
Yeah.
But then now on the flip side of that, I'm like, I feel a little bit guilty. It's like I spent the last 10 years every single day thinking, all right, how am I going to try to get my mom and my sister sober today?
Right.
How can I save them? And then now they're gone. I'm like, what do I do with myself? Like,
Yeah.
Now I'm like anxious all the time, like just thinking about what I could have done different.
Yeah.
Would they maybe still be here? And again, in a sense, there's some relief just because
Yeah.
I know they're not suffering, and I know that
Right.
I did what I believe is right, and I did do everything I possibly could when I could, and
Yeah.
how I could. So, anyways, don't want to talk.
Man,
about
I
that,
would encourage you. You don't need to waste any time. You know, as an addict, no one's Jesus. You're not Jesus. No one could save you. I think freedom from addiction is a supernatural. It is God given.
Yeah.
It's not of me that I'm sober, and I know that. One, just look at the stats, man. I mean, nobody wants to look at these stats, but freedom from addiction it is miraculous. It is rare. You take 20 addicts, 2 of them are walking away from that struggle. And I think addicts, people who have publicly become sober, walked through addiction, we kind of have an advantage, and it's a blessing to have that freedom and understand what you're going through. I mean, I think a lot of people who don't struggle with drug, alcohol addiction, it's hard to explain to them, hey, what's your coping mechanism in life? Just step away from it. You know what I mean? Like, you're drinking coffee. Wow. That takes moments away from your kids because you've got to get that Starbucks coffee. Don't drink that tomorrow. Spend time with your kid. That's impossible. Yeah. And I'm not even calling that a sin or I'm just saying the world would be like, oh, what are you talking about? Coffee's whatever. Mm-hmm. But, what happened to me was I got sober and I started going to the gym. Like, I'm 10 years sober this past October.
Nice.
But dude, for 1 year, I abandoned my wife and kids. And this, I'm not saying this in a humorous way, but I'm just trying to shed light to anybody listening. It's not just alcohol that we struggle with. It's our entire tendency to check out and cope with life. Yeah. And we know it as artists. We write songs. Yep. We can control them. We can write them on paper. We can get affirmed by stages and cry. Yeah. And we're like, oh, that dopamine is great. Mm-hmm. I want to lean on that. Yeah. That's just as damaging as alcoholism. Mm-hmm. And as we know, we need a savior, dude. We need a substitute. We don't, there's no like, oh, I'm going to power through this. Every human struggles with what your sister struggled with, what you did. There's like a door, and it's like, I know that's bad for me and that's going to destroy everything that's important to me. It's hard not to walk through that door, dude. And I'm 10 years sober, and over the holidays with the restlessness and the triggers of family, I got to tell you, dude, at least 20 times I was like, no one would know, bro. Nobody would know. If my kids are asleep, Lane's asleep, I'm going to go mix me something and just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway, I really want to encourage you loving your sister enough to go, hey, I got to create some distance. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome choice. You don't need to look back and go, could I have saved my sister's life? You need to go ahead and cut that out, because it's not reality. That's demons in you lying to you. You know,
right.
you it's like me with a kid. If my 18-year-old son came home with a heroin addiction that he couldn't kick, it does me no favors to put him up in an apartment, give him things that he can sell to buy those drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To rescue him from jail.
Yep.
I need to allow him to somehow, him and God mostly, work that out. He needs to his knees need to eventually hit the ground, and he needs to bow, and that's it. And I can't do that. I wish, dude. I wish every day. I pray all the time on my ride in. God save my kids, because I can't.
Yeah.
I could try. I can open a Bible. I can explain these things. I can say, "Hey, trust me." You know, trust me as an ad. Yeah, I can tell my kids all day, "Don't drink. Trust me. You don't want to go down." But I can't save them.
Yeah.
You know, I can maybe manipulate their behavior, but I can't change the heart.
Yeah.
As much as I can't change mine. I can wake up every day and go, "Hey, don't be an asshole." But by 11 o'clock, I've been an asshole at least 11 times. And I'm like, "Lord, help."
Yeah.
You know? I hope that helps you, man. Because
did.
That's territory that I am really familiar with. Just these siblings. I've taken many to rehab, and they've relapsed. And I did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, just you can at least eliminate that. You did what you did your best.
And I mean, I am a firm believer you can only control what you can control. And,
Yeah.
And 90% of the time, that's only yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've focused so hard on everything around me and neglected myself for so long. And then you start to feel selfish when you are doing some of that self-care.
Yeah.
I think just because I had always been what I want comes last, I think, because of the way I was raised in my brain with my mom and stuff. So I was taught, like, your feelings don't matter. What I'm feeling matters, and once I'm at peace, then you can go worry about yourself. So, like, I lived with that my entire life, and it's carried over into my adult life. Like, whatever I do, like, I have a serious issue with giving up control of things to other people, just because every time in my life that I've done that, it's come back to bite me in the ass. So, you know, it's developed like this almost anxious overworking kind of thing, because, like, that's what validates me. That's what gives me the affirmation. It's like, "Oh, you're doing a great job here. You're doing a great job with this." And so I do that stuff to get that, because I realize I need that dopamine hit. And and it's probably, you know, increased since I stopped drinking, just because I'm looking for that kind of release and that feeling elsewhere. And like, especially now that they're both gone, like, it's like all of a sudden all these feelings have hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like, man, where was this the last 10 years?
Well,
like,
in the season, man. I don't know about y'all, but Christmas is weird.
That's a great way to say it. It's
Dude,
so
it
weird.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is weird.
It's such an interesting. I mean, so many days is Christmas. I was like, what is wrong with me? You know, right now, like, it's the birth of Christ. Like, this is insane. And here I am, like, wishing I'd have said something in a fight when I was 14.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, why even
I'm
think
right
of
there
this?
with you.
You know, got out the old Teddy Ruxpin. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I pulled that out one day, and I just looked at it, and then before I knew, I was like 6 years old, you know, hanging
Where
with
did you
my
find
brother.
it?
It was in the attic. I think my mom's been in the, I lost my dad like 5 years ago. So my mom, every time we go see her, she's like, "Hey, take this." And I'm like, "Oh, crazy. You still have this report card," you know? And most of it we throw away, but I couldn't throw away Teddy Ruxpin.
No.
I mean, it was the first AI. It was like,
It's
like
true,
talk to you.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Did you remember that? I think before that, I had like this Mickey Mouse doll that had the
Yeah.
eyes that open and it talked to you and stuff.
That was freaky.
It was really
Yeah.
creepy. I thought Teddy Ruxpin was a little bit, you know, less creepy. So.
Yeah.
He's probably still worth a lot on eBay if you want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He starts
Yeah.
haunting your
Yeah,
house,
so-
you know.
It has the Santa suit and everything. But man, back to the, I don't know, man. This, you know, I think too, over the holidays, for men and women who, my work and my my relevance, quote unquote, just the way I wrongfully lean on those things. The holidays rips that. You can't work,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work, so you can't wake up and be like, where do I get my false validation from today? And gyms are even closed, so you can't be like, well, I'm feeling good for a 40-year-old. You're eating and I don't know. It just rips all the coping mechanisms out from under you, and it gives you a lot of time to think. And then you see people who maybe you're not comfortable doing community 2 and 3 nights in a row with the in-laws or whatever, and it just, it's an interesting thing. You may not sleep well, because you've traveled, and you take that away and you got some crazy people, running around over the holidays. So yeah, it's a tough season.
I'm curious, dude, like coming into the Christmas season every year, just the holiday season, like I get so excited about it because of what it's supposed to be, and like the memories I have as a child of
dude.
It. And like I find myself not enjoying the moments that are there because I'm thinking to myself, oh, this should be this, or oh man, I wish this was like this when we went to the candlelight service at church, and it just feels different. Like the music's not the same. Like I just find things to like hate on the whole time, and I don't actually live in it and appreciate it,
dude.
And, I got to the end of it and I was like, man, I wish I could go back and start over. And take myself
screwed it up.
I ruined it for myself,
dude.
And maybe I ruined it for my family too. I don't think I did, but like, dude, it's just a weird thing.
2 things. Unbelievable that you asked that. You kind of lobbed me a softball to share something, but one, it's like driving home. Like you're like 2 hours from home. Your speed limit. You're chilling. 30 minutes from home, you like kind of press on the gas. You're like, dude, I want to get back in my home house, my home. I might pass my high school, and then you get there and you're like, it doesn't. Like I was driving here, wanting that buzz, and you're like, it just doesn't, do the thing.
Yeah.
And one thing, I think is we brace ourselves in the season for those like kind of crippling triggers, like, oh, the way this dude interacts with me, crud, or mom, we don't really. And I heard the greatest sermon by this dude, Piper, I guess John
Piper.
Dude, and it's just basically like, I don't want to botch it, but basically for believers, it was like, man, if you just would walk in every room and instead of going, this dude, he's going to look at me this way, or this writer, I know how he is, and maybe those ways are harmful. Maybe you're talking about legit things that are not righteous. They're mean, or they're cruel, or they really are sad. They're abusive, your relationships, rather than looking at what's wrong with people walking in and going, I'm so amazed that I am forgiven. In our case, I'm so amazed that I am healed of that addiction, and focusing on, I can't believe I'm forgiven, instead of, can't you change this dude so that it could be more convenient and easier to step in this house and have a meal. You know what I mean? And to me, that sermon was helpful this season, because that is so me, man. That's so me, to go ruin it for my kids, to go ruin a hang with in-laws for my kids, to go ruin it for my wife, because I'm just like, no, this damaged me a long time ago, and I'm restless, and I wish I was producing today instead of just sitting here, because it doesn't feel as good. And so that sermon helped me through some things in the holidays, and to arrive with gratitude. And Lord, I can't believe, if y'all knew my records, y'all wouldn't be sitting here liking me or enjoying me. You'd be focused on the terrible things I've done. And rightfully so. Everybody in the world would go, yeah, Walker's a jerk. You shouldn't like that guy. He's dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, to go in and go, God, why you forgive me? You know what I mean? Because that's an overwhelmingly you could dwell on that way longer than you could
Yeah.
at the people around you's wrongdoing. And I'm stealing that sermon, by the way. That's not like I didn't come up with that. That was John Piper's message in some sermon that I listened to. And that really helped me with what you were talking about.
That's incredible. Do you find, selfishly I'm asking
Yeah.
this, what do you, in those moments, say you're at your in-laws
Yeah.
and you're feeling restless, what do you do in those moments to kind of, like, I'll tend to just self-sabotage in that moment. And be
Yeah.
like, all right, I need to go walk outside. And
Right.
then even I'll come back 45 minutes later and everyone's like, well,
Where'd you
where
go?
have you been? What
Yeah.
have you been doing?
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I needed this. But then,
Yeah.
like, that's damaging also because now they're thinking they did something
Yeah.
wrong, or my wife thinks she did something wrong, or the kids think they did something wrong. So
Yeah.
in those moments, what do you do to keep yourself present and not ruminate, not spin yourself up into this?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, dude, first off is I think if you ask my family, one huge blessing God's given me, my family, and all those people around us is just highways of communication.
That's
like these
amazing.
conversations that we're having, I've had them with my father-in-law because he's known me since we were 17.
Right.
And the first time I met Doug, he busted me and his daughter in the basement with Bud Light cans around us and no clothes. And so
Wow.
Dang.
we've been able to I've been able to say, man, it's triggering being in this house. Do you ever feel like that too? And he'll be like, yeah,
That's
me
good.
too. And if I get mad at him, I can go, dude, I'm really sorry I just got mad at you. I was just an asshole. I'm really sorry,
Yeah.
And when my pride's not in the way, I feel like the older Lainey and I get, I'm able to in the middle of a like, what the, I'm able to go, that's funny.
Yeah.
I was about to act like 21-year-old Walker, and that's sad. That's crazy. That I still do that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. The other day I slammed the door in the heat of holiday chaos, and I looked at my daughter, and I was like, shouldn't have slammed that door.
Yeah.
That was
That was
an
weird. That was weird, huh?
overreaction. And what's funny is she's 12.
Yeah.
And we're in the midst of, hey, don't overreact land. Because,
Oh, yeah,
and so
yeah.
it was funny
Yeah.
to go, Loxley, I'm 46. And you see that, I overreacted.
I was teaching you a lesson,
I know.
actually, if you wanted
Yeah.
to know why I did that.
Right. And so to me, I guess I would say it's never not a good time to put humanity on the table and go, look what we do.
Yeah.
Look what so you're telling me you're normal.
Right.
When you walk outside and you self-sabotage. That's all you're doing.
Right.
There's nobody that doesn't self-sabotage. We're great excuse makers. I think our worst problem as humans is we can defend ourselves to the death
Yeah.
without ever going, you know what? I'm just fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they-
sorry, I don't know if you say
Yeah,
it,
we
but
do
like
say it.
that's
Yeah,
we do say
absolutely.
that.
that's what Christians don't want to say. We
100%.
want to walk in and on Sunday and be like, I'm getting really good at this. The last thing we want to just do is go, I'm not good.
Yeah.
I'm a lost sheep. I'm gonna wander to the next patch of grass.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go, poor me. You guys are crazy. Poor me. That's what was just so amazing. It's like we come out of the womb unreal at that.
Yeah.
And the best thing
Yeah.
to do is just go, man, we're good at being bad. Lord, help.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's fun when you can, it takes way more energy to walk outside in a huff and then come back and be like, but I deserve that
Yeah.
moment. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
and
that
that's-
helps,
there's
that
a
make
fine
any
line
sense?
between what is self-care, what is me taking care of myself the way I
Right.
need to, so I am enough for my family and
Right.
myself, and then when does it become selfish? Okay, so I know that I needed to walk outside in that moment, or I was going to blow up at
Yeah.
somebody, and that was going to cause a bigger problem. But then
Yeah.
maybe me being gone that long was also a problem. So chances are I felt better after about 5 minutes being outside.
Yeah.
At that point, I should have probably just gone back
Right.
in. I'm good now.
Right.
But I took an extra, 40 minutes just to relax, so I didn't have to be in that chaos.
Right.
And you know what? I probably was fine at that point. I could
Yeah.
have gone back in, been there for my wife, my kids, but I made maybe in that moment the wrong decision. But what is the right decision? Like, you're always trying to
We
figure
just
out
need mercy,
where it is,
man.
and we do.
Everybody needs mercy.
And I think I'd probably need to give myself a little more grace at times also. Like,
Yeah.
Like, all right, don't beat yourself up so much about this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is worthy of the attention that you're giving it, but
Yeah.
maybe just shift your focus or maybe the filter that you're looking at it through. And I think that's
Yeah.
what's kind of starting to help me. But
If there wasn't
Anyway.
football on during the holidays, I would go nuts.
Yeah.
Me personally, that's
Yeah.
like my escape.
I'm with you.
Like that. I mean, sheesh Louise.
But even what you're talking about earlier, it's like, all right, maybe that's a coping mechanism of some sort.
Yeah.
You take that away, and then does that ruin
gosh,
your
you're
entire
right,
holidays?
dude.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah,
they may not want
absolutely.
that, Steven.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've never
I
known.
used to say that
I've
about
never
alcohol.
known. I've never known that,
That
Steven.
is
I've
so
been watching
funny.
football. I mean, the doctor was watching a football game when I came out of the womb, so I've been kind of watching it for 41 years
Since
now.
then. Dude, that is so true. Football, it's an idol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
100%.
in our
yeah.
house. I mean, I'm a Bama fan, so I'm already looking at August. I'm like,
Yeah,
how am I gonna get through?
yeah.
And what's gonna happen? Like, what's
Yeah.
gonna change? But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good realization. Like what we're talking about, I don't think it's not scary, and it's not. Let's not belittle it. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the truth about life. I mean, look at. You're only gonna live for a little while, guys. I mean, you're 41. How old are you?
41.
Okay, 46. We're halfway done, bro. I don't hang with a lot of 80, 92 year whatever. 46 plus 46. What's that? 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of 92-year-olds that I really want to converse with because their mind's kind of loopy,
Yep.
So might be good to check and go, what do I do?
Yeah.
What's my existence? If you narrow it down, you're probably sleeping, driving somewhere. My life is wasting away in this little box.
I
know. And
Yeah, that, and then now we have this too. And then
Yeah.
like another
That's a
device.
nice one, though. New
Yeah.
generation.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's like, what do you do? What do you tend to do? Man, I feel like if you're the devil, you're like, dude, I got these guys on lock.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I got 3 grown men who have wives, probably kid. I don't know y'all's situation. You got wives and kids.
Yep.
You got more than enough to exist in life. But you're like, nah, give me more of this. Give me more football.
Yeah.
Watch a little brown ball go back and forth within 100 yards of a magnificent earth. Let's make them look at a patch. Now, look, I'm not saying God doesn't have good stuff for us from football, because I'm a basketball coach, and I'm gonna tell you what, dude, it takes boys and turns them into men. I mean, it's a petri dish of life. Like this is life. This is gonna be marriage. The experience you had today in this tournament, you're gonna have to struggle through marriage. You're gonna have to struggle through kids. Those are great things. And you're getting. I think.
Life lessons.
Yes, I think there's life to be lived in competition to teach and learn from, and I think the joy that we feel from football. I think that's like, it's great to go, God, you gave us competition. I want to root and I want to be with community, and it's an awesome analogy, and there's beauty in it. But it's good to take a step back in life and be like, hey, if you took away this house, if you took away music, am I okay? Do I see that I'm yours?
Yeah.
Am I all right? And if you're not, which we're not, none of us are okay, let's work on that. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Let's hang about it. Let's remember that it's really the relationships, on a football field. You got brothers, bro.
Yeah.
It's about that. It's about who you're gonna know on your deathbed. You can be like, hey, bro, this dude was my right guard, protected me every day. It's that. That's what you want to, focus on. It's not ain't nobody sitting on their deathbed talking about their victories, their hit songs, or anything. They're talking about their sister, talking about their kids, their wife. They're talking about the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
wild. I think. I mean, I even recently heard stories of people on their deathbed. Even hearing what my sister was saying on her deathbed. It's just, it really puts things into perspective, because the things that I've focused on my entire life,
Yeah.
the things that I'm obsessing about now,
Yeah.
None of that stuff is what you hear
Not
these people
one.
talking about on their
Yeah.
deathbed. Yet that's what I'm absolutely obsessive over.
Yeah.
And 15 years ago, if I looked at myself now, I would say you have nothing to complain about. You've achieved everything that you wanted to. Granted, now there's more goals I've set for myself, but at least those goals I said, if I can get one #1 song, if I can be on a major label, we can be on a major tour, be on an agency, like we've checked every box.
Yeah.
And yet I'm still wanting for more.
I know.
Because it's what someone else has. And I'm looking at someone else and thinking, okay, he's got that
Yeah.
house, he's driving that Range Rover, he's got this. I want that.
Yeah.
And then I lose sight of what I've got, and I'm not
Yeah.
thankful for what I've got. And then I'm going to look back at this, and let's say it all disappears. It's like, I didn't even enjoy it while I had it. So
Let me ask y'all this, just because I find y'all to be like a very, very talented group. I think the first time I heard y'all was at a songwriter festival in Key West.
Probably, yeah.
And I was like, dude, these guys can jam. Like, y'all can really sing. And what are y'all doing? Like, do you have you make music? Like, you making music now? Okay.
We've had, like, we're in the process of making a new record. I mean, like
haven't done one in a while, actually.
we haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, our journey's been an interesting one, like
Yeah.
everybody's. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you talk to anyone, and they're like, everybody's had the peaks and valleys.
Dude,
And, started on a Disney label. We were on Lyric Street with Rascal Flatts and Shadazy. They moved us over to Carrollwood, had some success, our first top 5 there, and then we went to RCA after that. We were a trio, turned into a duo at that point. Had our biggest success on RCA. Things were going well, and then had big songs, and then they just stopped putting stuff out to put out stuff. For
When y'all get here?
2005.
I was in 04, so
Really?
Yeah, I
dude,
was
it's
5
great.
too, I think.
It's great to hang with y'all because there's not a lot of us left.
No, there's we were talking about that the other day. It's like,
and what a time! Like, I was driving down, this road. We're talking about Broadway Brewhouse and Mojo, and my first like office to write was in Buddy Killen's like office, know, and then he had like a basement little studio, and it's just so different, man. I mean, I know I sound old, but
no, but
it's like when I got here, you couldn't email a song. Like you still burn. Like I had stacks of a stack of clear of empty CDs, and you would like burn them individually on your little computer.
I was cleaning out closet the other day and I found an unopened like tower of
no way.
burnt CDs. I was like, this is crazy. My son was like, what is that?
Right. And then now,
trash can,
now I can make a record in my office in 10 seconds. Now I can go on Suno and write lyrics, and it's honestly, most of it sounds pretty shit, but at least you're like, I get the gist.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's it's fun. I don't know if y'all agree, but I really like it. Like, I like driving here. Every building is a memory. Like, I'm like, dude, I remember I had a meeting and I thought it was going to change my life, and it didn't. And my wife was waiting outside, and I remember when I wrote this song, and this person there, had it on hold for a year, and we were looking at property, we were, you know what I mean? Like, every single, and then a lot of them are sad. I'm like, dude, I had breakfast there, and, I got dropped the next day, or I got hammered that night, and, I was telling you, I don't know if I was telling y'all, there was a bartender named Kay.
You were telling me when we were
at
walking in,
Broadway Brewhouse, and my wife, that's who she would call, to look for me if I didn't get home, at a certain time. She'd be like, Kay, where's Walker? But it's interesting how this town has become a bed of like every single inch of it has a story. Where I'm like,
it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were coming home from a basketball game at Lipscomb the other night, I think, or FRA.
Yeah.
And drove over kind of through Berry Hill and drove past Blackbird, and there was a wreck right in front of Blackbird, so I had to pull into Blackbird.
Oh,
and, park for a second, and like the lights shined into one of those front studios there, and like we had recorded like all the vocals for one of our favorite records in there, and I sat there for 35 minutes telling my kids, my wife about it. I start crying. I can remember I remember like we went and had sushi, came back and like sang the vocal for a song called Thinking of You and Me, and like, I think you had gone home, like me and our producer Josh Leo like turned all the lights off in the studio, like
got it all vibed out,
and it was just like one of my favorite vocal takes ever. And then we sat there and listened through the whole record, and like both cried because how excited
Yeah.
we were about the project. And then one song from it, ended up being a hit.
Something,
and then the rest
yeah.
was, so it's just, again,
Dude, studios.
expectations back then and remembering how excited we were and
Yeah.
just the energy and just, again, driving by Blackbird, just driving by a building where so
Yeah.
many cool things happen, just the floodgates open. And it was
Yeah.
like all these amazing memories that I've kind of suppressed and just buried and never even thought about. And
Yeah.
it's like, it kind of made me stop, and then I went home and I just thought about all those different memories of all these different places, a lot like
Right.
you're talking about. And it's so much has happened in this town for us, I'm sure for you as well. And again, I take so much of it for granted, and I'm always so focused on everything else that everyone else is doing that I really don't live in
Just
the moment
sit
and
and-
enjoy it
yeah.
for what it is. And
Yeah.
I'm trying my hardest to get past that and change that, but it's one of the
Well,
hardest
musicians
things to do.
we have a, it's like a luxury, but I don't know if like a realtor would feel the same, or a dentist, or say you own a restaurant or whatever. I don't know. We probably all said the same things. Like, when I had written 500 songs, I remember going, you stop keeping count after
Yeah.
some point. You're
Yeah.
like, I don't care anymore. At your first 100, you're like, I have written 100 songs.
Right.
You're so excited. And you say things like, you watch a song go to number 30, and you're like, dude, I'd take a number 30. Like,
Yeah.
I'd give anything for a number 30 song, to
Yeah.
hear it on the radio. And then when that moment comes, you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're already going,
Top 20.
dude, I want 28. Give me,
Yeah.
and then you get a number one, and you go, there's kind of a bitter feeling. I don't know about y'all, but
Yeah.
like hitting the gong, you kind of look back and you go, ooh, I feel like this would solve a lot of problems. Like maybe I'd look in the mirror and it'd be a different person, and you knew that,
Yeah.
but you like still kind of wondered maybe. And I don't know about y'all, but all I felt through any of my highest successes was, dang, dude, I gotta do this again. Like, I gotta do that again.
Yeah.
That was miraculous. Like,
Yeah.
that was like a trick shot. Like, that was like a trick shot that I worked at for 20 years, and I've got to do it again.
Yeah.
To stay mattering. It was almost like anytime I've had any success, I've always been like, you feel it, you feel the other side of it happening,
Yes.
and you're like, it's like you're at Dollywood, and you're like, whoa, no, it's cool up here, no,
Yeah.
and it's inevitable,
Yeah.
and that's everybody. That's
Yeah.
that's Morgan Wallen. Like
Yep.
at some point, it goes down, and you're like,
That's such an amazing analogy, though, because you hear everyone talk about the peaks and valleys. Like, I've had
Yeah.
people ask me, like, on a podcast about peaks and valleys. And
Yeah.
like, but I've never thought about it from that perspective, like the climb all the way to the top, and now you're here, and then like that breathtaking plunge back down.
Yeah.
Like, that's a daunting thing to be faced with.
Right.
And like, that's really what it feels like. I've
Right.
never thought of it that way.
Well, and for a while too, you get to go up, and then you're like, oh, whoa.
yeah.
We're still going up, and then you get a little spoiled, you're like, oh shoot. But when for we one cool thing, man. I mean, we can, I don't think artists and writers celebrate it enough, but you guys, we're in the 0.000000001% of dreamers. We
Mhm.
are. Got to make banger records. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that, let's go back to we're 14, and you're listening to I Want It, and you're like,
Yeah.
dude, what's it feel like to have written one of those or
Yeah.
hear? And we did it,
Yeah.
but it just, we take it for granted. And
We
then,
do.
and then again, even when whoever that was, I don't know, NSYNC or whatever, they did too. They took it for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, they were rocking and rolling. They were everywhere. And then who's NSYNC now? I don't know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so is life. We live, we feel relevant, and we're forgotten, dude.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
freaking, this deer will be in some attic 200 years from now, and we'll be so gone, and
Yeah.
no one will know the Applebees dance. Applebees will be gone, but this deer will be sitting in some dude's podcast
you're right.
thing or whatever people do, you know.
And if we die tomorrow, good chance that Steve's going to put another podcast in here, and within 6 months, we're irrelevant. Or maybe it's 6 weeks, maybe 4 days, and it's the best thing, and no one even ever remembers a single thing we did. It's like, why?
I would carry on without you.
Okay, well,
for your memory.
Well, no, it's if we both get hit by a car on the way to a meeting.
It's both of you guys.
Dang
it. But I guess the point is, like, we do have, I mean, again, back to the walking in a room amazed. We don't do that enough.
Yeah.
Like, we're all living pretty cush lives. I don't know why. Us three are sitting in really soft chairs in a warm place with family we love and blessings that we can't comprehend. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just, you know, I feel like one thing about my life is everybody knows me as a dad with a lot of kids and a loving family. I gotta tell you, man, if you knew 16-year-old Walker, you just wouldn't have predicted that at all. You'd be like, dude, that dude, he's gonna be the first dude in jail. You know, you just would have. You just would have been like, I'm sorry, but that guy just doesn't have a bright future ahead of him. And those things that I just told you, those are actual blessings, not like a hit song.
Right.
We all know. I mean, I think we can all agree. Hit song's fun to have. Blessing, I don't know if I would call it that. Like, kind of a burden, you know, having everything you ever wanted come true. Because, again, you realize I've spent a lot of life chasing this thing that wasn't as cool as I thought it was going to be. That's kind of heartbreaking, you know, kind of depressing.
We're chasing like a perception almost,
right?
Also, because we don't really know what comes with that and the responsibility that now comes with fame,
right?
And a hit song, and now you have a platform, and now what you do with it is very important,
right?
And I don't think you're not taught that when you're 15, 16-year-old kid. You're not taught that when you're 22, 23. You know, putting your first song out either. And,
right.
And you don't know, you just know what you see and what you perceive around you. It seems great and it seems amazing, but with that comes a myriad of, you know, problems and things that you never would have had to deal with without that. And I think that's really where it's funny that addiction kind of rears its head when people have that success, and then it really rears its head when you have nothing.
Right.
And it's funny that here is where it's so prevalent, but
they're
maybe
very
not
similar.
So much in the middle.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a bit of an extremist, I would say, and I really tend to, when I'm low, and when I'm high, I'm really high.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't do really well just in the middle. I might perceptually to other people, I might live there, but for me in my own head, it's, you know, very polarized. So yeah, it's funny that you say that, because, you know, you dream of things and you want things for forever, and then you don't really understand the pressures that come with that. And I don't think people that haven't experienced it can really understand and relate to that.
Right.
And they look at you like, oh, you asshole, you have everything that you could have ever dreamed of, and now you're complaining about it. I'm like, well, you don't know what's going on up here. And you don't understand the pressure, and now the feeling of failure if I don't deliver again, and the pressures I've put on myself. And the definition of success to me is probably very different than your definition of success. So like, you know, I think people are so judgmental also these days, and they don't take into account humanity and that people are feeling things. And,
I'm guilty. I mean, we humans we're cruel. You know, we're ruthless.
We are.
And we're broken. Know, everyone is. Like,
completely
super broken.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the things we'll say, you know, to each, the things we'll think about each other. You know, you have me thinking, I mean, like, what something y'all have, I'm so envious that I think that's our society takes for granted, is just a friend, you know. Like, as a dude, that's something that I don't know if it ever existed to be lost, but like, back to gratitude, a friend. You know, I mean, I had breakfast with my management this morning, and dude, I'm so lucky. Like, I have friends, like, you know, and I feel like when you die, you really don't, like, if you just want to on your hand count friendships, was another thing that we sabotaged, you know. Chasing certain things, we sacrifice friendships for these things that will fulfill us. And I'm not saying friendship is the salvation, but it's God. I think that's a heavenly concept.
I 100%
is a
agree.
true relationship. You know,
Yeah.
back to what do you say when you walk out of the house? Well, you go talk to somebody like a friend. You don't isolate, keep it inside you. You tend to want to do that.
Yeah.
And tend to look at that other person and dehumanize them because you feel like they're dehumanizing you. But the best thing to go is, hey man, is the energy weird in here? Am I being a jerk? Are you being a jerk? You know, let's talk about, let's be friends.
Yeah.
Let's do intense community. But just hearing you know, talk about that. That was one of the saddest things that ever happened to me in the music biz, man, is along that crazy ride the first like 6 or 7 years, you know, I kind of had a big flop, like got signed by Capitol. It was my second label. I thought I was Garth Brooks, and I felt like I was so amazing, and it was just going to be a smash hit, and then it flopped, you know, and it hit the wall. And then when it's like an ant bed, you know, when when the world crushes a song or a product, everybody in the ant bed's like running around like, it's your fault, you suck, the producer, your management, your booking agent, you know, and everybody's like, dude, it wasn't my fault that song died at 38. You know, Walker didn't wear the right shirt. And I'm like, dude, this shirt's gay. Why'd you give me that shirt?
Exactly.
And, you know, it's like everybody, you know, when you lose the game and you go in the locker room, everybody's pissed at somebody else. Nobody goes, dude, I let the team down. Let's move forward. I'll try to improve my side. You don't do that.
Right.
You're like, freaking coach, offensive coordinator's lame.
Yeah, inside you're at least thinking that, unless you're supposed to be the guy. Yeah, this is my fault, but inside you're like, yeah.
I know. And so what I did is I spearheaded I left my manager. My manager's name was Christy DiNapoli, and dude, I gotta tell you, I learned a valuable lesson, and I learned a lot about myself. And I learned a lot about this industry, and I learned a lot about humans. But man, I knew it. Like 2 weeks in, I was like, I basically just fired my best friend. I mean, that dude, I could have called that dude with the artist hibbity jibbities. You know, you wake up at 2 and you're like, what am I doing with my life? And I just feel like I'm going backwards, man. And my wife's pregnant, and it's kid number 2, and I can't pay my bills. That dude would always answer and be my friend, you know. And I always was like, it's just because he can make a buck off me, you know. But I learned a valuable. I learned that friends are rare, and that I had one. Yeah. And I broke his heart, and it broke mine. You know, it wasn't like I just woke up and was like, I need to get rid of you. It was very thoughtful, but it basically it was a mistake. It was a mistake of mine, and I've told him many times, and we're in touch. You know, we talk now, but that was my first biggest mistake in my marriage to Nashville was leaving Christy DiNapoli. Big fumble by me.
Never heard that said before. My marriage to Nashville.
Yeah, you do, man. You come here and you're like, hey, you can have me. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my wife definitely has brought up that before.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I mean, you almost have to be married to your craft in a sense. And
oh yeah.
I mean, even like you're saying. I mean, I have my best friend on the road with me.
Yeah.
Every time we're on the road, so that's an amazing,
it's really
amazing
nice
thing to have.
Yeah.
And to be able to experience all of the highs and lows with somebody else, bounce those things off of them, be like, all right, how's this making you feel?
Right.
How do you feel about this? And
it's been dangerous at times.
Totally. I'm sure y'all had some crazy, but there's some phrase about the wound of a friend. It matters. That's awesome. It does. You know, it's different. But yeah, man, I've always been jealous of, you know, duos and bands because I don't know, y'all do have that. That's cool. You know, you have somebody to call. In
your case, like, I'm sure your wife has experienced a lot of the road with you, but there's still an understanding that you have of the business that she'll never have because she hasn't experienced it from your perspective as a creator, as the artist. And I think that's a beautiful thing for me and him to both be creators and to both have goals and then to, you know, bounce things off one another. Yeah. Even if it's just going through the experiences with someone else, not
just
talking
being
about it
in
and
the
just
trenches.
experiencing it experiencing it with someone else that has a like-minded kind of worldview, similar goals. you
Yeah.
know, and I think it helps. We were both brought up in the church. I mean, his dad
Yeah.
was a pastor, my dad was a worship pastor. Like, you know, we have very similar upbringings,
Yeah.
but also very different. And I think it's definitely been a blessing. I'm very fortunate, and
me too.
you know, I think that's a big part of why we're still together, why we're still doing it.
Yeah.
17, 18 years, man.
Yeah, a lot of people
That's
can't
great.
spend that much time with somebody and then still
Oh,
be
no.
that close to friends. So I do think it's a God thing 100% that we met each other, and we're the 2 of the 4 that started out that are still doing it 20 years later. And
Where
again,
are the other 2?
Brian.
They left early on, but
Gotcha.
Yeah, Brian left after our first hit, and then he tried to do kind of a Led Zeppelin-ish rock project. That was kind of his always his thing. And
he's probably making more money than us now.
Yeah,
though.
now he's a real estate developer.
real estate,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's killing it. He's doing
Good.
a great job. And then the other guy, it was very short-lived with him.
Yeah.
It was like 6-8 months that he was in the band. But you know, I mean, as a trio, like we really kind of had a thing that we were doing, and you know, our goal is just kind of be like a modern day Eagles, Crosby, Stills, and Nash kind of thing, just real harmony driven stuff. So, you know, it was fun. It's been a blast, and I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. I mean, the highs and the lows. I mean, the lows have taught me so much, and now I'm realizing I think the highs have taught me more lessons than I realized.
Yeah.
I think I took advantage of it or took it for granted far too much. But again, being 41 and now like feeling like, you know, we have a lot of new opportunity. We have a lot of cool
we are still
things,
praying our
like-
new record does really well.
Yeah.
So
You know, working
Yeah.
hard on it, and like it's not like I've almost approached the last 5 or 6 years. It's like we're running out of time. Like, come on, let's just do something.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've been incredibly purposeful with what we're doing. It's almost more like, all right, let's just survive as long as we can. And I think, like we were talking earlier, when we came into this business, there was really only one way to skin a cat. And, you know, if you wanted to get on the radio, you had to be on a major label.
Right.
You had to go to a radio tour. You had to have management. You had to have check all these boxes before you were even considered, you know, in a part of the conversation. Now there's a million ways to do it. And, you know, I'm talking to people on podcasts and stuff. It's like we're almost cherry picking ideas from some of these. Like we had a 15-year-old kid in here the other day. You'd think the kid's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, his chops as a musician are insane. Like he's a little prodigy. And
Yeah.
when I hear him talk, I'm like, how the heck are you 15
Yeah.
you go to
years old?
media
Like-
training? Like, no, he
Yeah.
had not.
But instead of
Right.
like being almost jealous, it's like I'm trying to just be stoked and excited and like like just see what some of these kids are doing with their careers, because like I can be a stick in the mud and be like, oh no, we got started, you had to do it this way, and you know, we're purists and we understand how the business used to be. It's like, how stupid is that? Like those kids don't care.
Dude,
Like-
our kids are phenomenal these days. Their resources and the way they're fearlessly taking advantage of them. I'm like, y'all go, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beyond. I have a son who's a drummer, and his talent surpassed mine like 3 years ago. I mean, he's incredible. He could drum for anyone.
Does he play with you at all?
He did this past fall.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
Is that a
and
cool
then
thing as a dad? To
What's
be on-
that?
Is that a cool thing as a dad to be on stage?
Oh
with your
yeah.
son?
I mean, I really don't. You know, honestly, y'all can probably relate. You know, music or any profession, music has beat me up so much that I'm always like, whatever you guys choose to do, you guys got to choose it, because I don't want the blame. You know, I don't want. I don't want them to call me and go, you kind of steered me in this direction, and it's brutal, you know? So I kind of let them take responsibility for their, you know, career paths. But yeah, man, I mean, I just love, you know, when any of my kids are having fun, you know, they're excited about what their occupation is. I think they've had an interesting, my kids got a front row seat of watching dad kind of evolve. You know, they've seen atheist Walker, they've seen alcoholic Walker, they've seen no money, you know, dude gave us a car, you know, couldn't pay the bills, dad, you know, they've seen it all. And then they've seen ultimate top of the world everywhere we go. Somebody's like, oh yo, you're the dude, oh my God, you know, they've seen the bookends that humanity has to offer, and I think it's been good for them.
Yeah.
as if to say, it's okay if you never win an Olympic gold medal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think my kids have an interesting, even Baylor, as good as he is as a drummer or an athlete or whatever they're good at, they're all very peaceful at going, this is enough. I don't create, they're interested in like the social stuff. Like
Right.
my daughter is like, oh cool, you can put a post up and then get a bunch of views, you know what I mean, or things
Right.
like that. But I don't think they don't live under the assumption of, hey, you can do whatever you put your mind to it, so you should waste your life chasing that, because at the end of that there's a pot of gold.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like for some reason we probably grew up in a generation that was like, be like Mike and Bo knows
Right.
That's
Bo.
true.
And they just are like, I feel like they're more content to exist, steward their gifts and talents, and be more peaceful, if that makes sense. Like none of my kids wake up like there's a destination
Right.
far beyond today.
Right.
And I think that's that might be better. Like that might be
so.
smarter, than me.
Yeah.
And so
And I could be wrong in assuming this because perception is not always reality.
Yeah.
But like when I see your social media and the life that you've created for
Yeah.
your kids, like, I mean, obviously you didn't always have the house and all the things.
Yeah.
And watching you build this like, it's been so cool for me.
Yeah.
Not really knowing you that well, just having met and passing over the years. But like to hear you talk about your kids and say like, it seems like you've taught them, and probably your wife as well, to be content, live in the moment more than anything else. And I see like that video of you throwing, or your son throwing the football
Yeah.
on the roof to you in the loader of
Yeah.
the tractor. Like that's something those kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives. Like,
Yeah.
And you seem to have created so many different moments like that, and you have a beautiful big family. It's so cool to watch, in my opinion.
Dude, thank
The
you.
way they seem to look up to you, the mutual respect that everyone seems to have in your family. Obviously, there's probably
Yeah.
shit hits the fan from time to time, like it does in every family.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just seems like you've created an environment for them to thrive. And knowing now and hearing that they've seen it from, both extremes now.
Yeah.
And that they're still grounded, and they still, they're not wanting to necessarily chase fame or whatever it is that you've had. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a testament to you as a father. And
Dude, I
making
promise
the
it's
decisions
not,
you've
I
made.
swear it's the Lord. That's all I can say. I mean, this is I see what you're talking about, and I'm blown away that exists in my family. And it's not something that Lainey and I got married and said, hey, let's put together this because this equals this. To any like father, if you were like, hey, what advice do you have? If somebody would look at my family and go, oh, I like this about your family. One thing I've attempted to always do, even more than I say, is anytime my children want to interact with me in some capacity of what their interests are, the answer is just always yes. So
that's huge.
yeah,
'Cause
it's
so many parents.
and
that's
I
not the
hate to
case.
say this, but like it's kind of correction,
Yeah.
from my childhood,
Yeah.
I'm not blaming my father. It's just where he, that's where he grew up. Men were men and boys were boys, and kids were kids, and parents were parents, and and when my dad died, my greatest regret was, man, I wish I would have known him. I don't feel like I knew him.
Yeah.
And so, one level of confidence that you talk about things we can control, you really can't. I mean, you can go to work and stuff. You can't really control your career path, especially in this business. Like I could write the dumbest song I've ever thought I've ever written today, and tomorrow it could literally be the Macarena, and you just never know. You know what I mean? You can only say, I love this. I have fun today. Man, it was good hanging with y'all. Have a great day.
Right.
And but one thing you can control, you can choose to do, is spend time with your kids. And I got to tell you this is a saving grace of mine, because I wish I was like one of those dads who my kids will grow up and say, well, my dad always said, and there's this awesome ass sentence. It's like a fortune cookie of wisdom that they take. I'm not that smart. Like I can read the Bible 5 times and still you're like, dude, what's your favorite verse? And I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, I'm just not I'm not a smart guy, but I do feel like there is some level of confidence and love and reassurance that God allows us as parents to pass to our kids by just being with them. And that is not easy, because we're busy and we still gotta have marriages, and we gotta date our wives, and you gotta do things. But not saying yes to your kid for the toy, and not buying their affection. But if your dad says, "Hey, want to throw?" I'm sorry, dude. I don't care if you're like, "Hey, I actually got a part in a movie recently," really? and I turned it down upon first request, but I didn't want to, because I don't get to be in movies a lot. But I'm a coach, and it was during one of my son's basketball games, and I was like, I'm not going to do it, man. And I got to tell you, I wanted to. Yeah. I would tell my kids, I'd be like, I kind of wanted to say yes to the movie and miss your game, because I'm a kid too. I wanted to be in the movies. You know, the movies is my basketball game. I can't play basketball anymore, but I can be, but I just feel like that's a very tactical way to wake up and go, how can I change my kids' future? Literally, when they're 40, how will they wake up differently and better? Well, they will if you just play Pokemon cards with them tonight, just for a minute, Just shut the stupid ass song you're working on off. Just don't think about whatever gig you gotta play tomorrow. Don't think about some relevant post you gotta cultivate so you'll get many views. Just shut up and listen to your daughter and talk to her about horses or something and focus, And I think that would be my that's it. As far as advice, I really don't have a lot for parents, but for parents, I'd say the answer is always yes to time with your children and your wife. Yeah. Just because you're not going to regret it. Yeah. Remember the deathbed thing? Yep. That's what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk to your daughter. You're going to tell your daughter when your grandkid and your daughter are by you while you're dying, if, Lord willing, you get that awesome moment, you're going to go, dude, I used to play with My Little Ponies with your mom. Do you have a My Little Pony? You're not going to go, dude, I wrote, Love and Thefts, 5th #1. You're not, who cares,
Yeah, chances are on your deathbed, you're not going to be talking about the TikTok dance fancy like.
I was on this podcast once.
You might be talking about that.
I actually might.
Yeah. But on your deathbed, you might try to do the dance. I don't know.
Dude, I actually I tell Leela all the time, and this is silly, but I tell her all the time, I am so fortunate. That is one true gift God gave me in the midst of that elusive dream, that we all chase, is I got to experience it with my family.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Oh my Lord, dude! I mean, that is one thing. Like, I can't wait till, again, Lord willing, if she has a daughter, and by the time she gets to the age where she can understand, I'm gonna be like, you gotta learn this dance, because me and your mom, we blew up the earth. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be like, we did this dance one day, and Shaq did it, and she'll be like, who's Shaq? But like, you know what I mean? That is.
Did your daughter invent that dance?
Totally.
That's what
I thought. She came home. She came home. The song was already out on Friday, and we went to church, and we came home, and she said, Dad, Fancy Like song, that Applebees song needs a dance. And so we just kind of made it up, and then my wife filmed it on the porch.
That's
and
awesome. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed that. No offense to you. I've assumed it came from a younger generation.
Well, what's funny is that doing dances with my daughter, I'd only been a believer for 1 year over COVID.
Oh, okay.
And doing that dance was my yes. I don't know why. I don't know when I adopted that, like, man, I'd like to pour in my kids more, you know. Oh, well, it was because before COVID, I was always on the road. And then we lost our 7th kid, and that was brutal because I was scheduled to fly in, meet the kid, fly out. So it was I was struggling with a lot of, like, what am I doing in my life? Like, I'm always gone. I feel like I pay for this life at home, or I come out here and work and pay for it, but I don't ever hang with these beautiful. And then I was home for COVID, and honestly, over COVID, I was like, you know, not a lot looking left and right because nobody's doing anything.
Right.
And I thought, man, I'm missing that. Like, this is what's going on at home while I'm out there in a hotel with an A&R guy or a radio rep, having dinner and beers to try to get my song 10 more spins at 3 a.m. in the morning, you know, and then over here, my wife is like jumping rope with my kids, and they're living.
Right.
I'm dying out here. And so I enjoyed COVID, and my yes to each kid was different. And with Leela, it was dances. It was like, we're going to do, you know, she was like, oh, I watch those, you know, with my friends. You want to, and I was like, dude, I can dance. And so we just,
like a challenge.
yeah, and I didn't have any following. And actually my Marissa over there, she said, hey, there's a new social platform, you know, called TikTok. You ought to do it. And so me and Leela, man, 30 minutes a day, we just make up a dance. She would laugh at me, and I laugh at her, and then we video it 5 times and be like, hey, that's as good as that's gonna get.
Yeah.
And just post it. And that, you know, little did I know that was preparing for, you know, a song to come out. But we were not expecting that, but that came out of me just trying to be a better dad.
That's cool.
You know,
that's really
it's cool that purposeful decision that you made
totally
sparked something like that. Really, it's really blown up and changed the way I think even people promote music and stuff.
Oh, dude,
I don't remember seeing a whole lot of that before you did it, and then all of a sudden everybody and their brother's doing it. So I mean,
definitely not in the country space.
Yeah.
That was a new thing. But yeah, man, that is again, just, you know, that was, I don't remember what year was Marissa, what year was that? So dude, I got here in 2004, didn't really do it till 2021, and that's how it happened. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's wild.
And the amount of things, the stars that have to align for something like that to happen, for people to look at this existence, this universe, and think that there isn't a divine, you know, creator of everything that is flawless and omniscient, omnipotent, all of the above. I mean, it's
pretty wild.
It's insanely wild.
Yeah.
And I mean, even hearing you say, you know, atheist walker, like my brother-in-law is, I think, still an atheist.
Yeah.
I studied apologetics in college for a little while and just loved arguing theology and, you know, philosophy and stuff. And I don't know, I think I'm appreciative now of the experiences that we've had that have now kind of shaped my view of everything and just given me a healthier perspective. And I don't know, hearing you just say all that, it reiterates, like, sometimes making tough decisions that you think are the best thing you can possibly do for your family. It's just stay on that track. And it is what matters the most. And I think I oftentimes question, all right, is there a balance that I'm not seeing here?
Right.
And I should be putting a little more weight into this. And I find that the more I put into my kids and my wife and my family, the more good shit that happens over here.
Yeah.
And it's really just thank you for saying what you've said, because it's reiterated to me that is the right path and that's the direction we need to keep going down.
I appreciate it. I just, I've made a lot of mistakes, you know, and I try to be, you know, just open, you know, with people. And like you said, just what, you know, I think this reality isn't all we see. And, you know, again, just back to our natural tendencies. We're weird human. We don't we flock to Taco Bell, not Whole Foods. You know, that's us in a nutshell. You know,
They got those nice $5 boxes now. So.
I don't know. I haven't been there in a while because I'm too busy going to Taco Bell. So, but you know, it's like pouring into your kid is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Which is why it's obvious why the enemy would be like,
Yep.
Let's make that dude want to go to the gym and seek relevance and a couple inches on his bicep. You know, let's give the gratification and the affirmation of finishing a hit song and the thought of it escalating. Let's take that away. Let's make that subtract from his marriage a little bit. You know, when he gets home, let's make him a little less focused on this beautiful person that God put 1 mile down the road in his hometown that he's known ever since. You know what I mean? Like, let's take away. Let's over the holidays. You know, especially when Christ is. When you're celebrating the birth of the Savior King that came from his throne to join us in heaven and be our ultimate substitute, let's make him a little more focused on a grudge, you know, that he holds, or a tone of voice that perhaps his father-in-law addresses him with, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's not get him one time. Let's not bomb him from China or what. No offense to China. Like, I don't know any Chinese people. Like, I didn't mean that as, but let's just pinch and pull, and then let's let the world go, oh, that's fine. You deserve to feel that way. Everybody, you know, you need a little more me time. You know what I mean? Like, let's just nip at that fatherhood a little bit until that son is fatherless, but they don't even know it because they're living the American dream. You know what I mean? I think that's we're touching on like the bed and the places that the enemy can easily allure it. You know, it's like, I mean, I was thinking the other day, I'm obsessed with Vikings.
Me too.
I'll just confess.
We are too.
Do you watch The Last Kingdom?
Yeah, of course. I love that shit.
Uhtred. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm a 46-year-old man who will go to the bathroom and have to go number 2. And my beautiful family and my beautiful house and dogs, there's relationships to be had. There's Christmas lights. And I am in the bathroom with Uhtred watching the trials of Uhtred Ragnarsson till my legs fall asleep.
He went through a lot.
And listen, but I'm just saying, you know, what a sad way to take a grown man with victories and tragedies that have shaped me. And you would think, man, he is becoming wise. He's becoming a wise man. He's moving closer to the Lord. But dude, I'm in there watching Last Kingdom for the 5th time. and you know, bro, those are long seasons. Yeah. Long episode, and I'm like 10 more minutes late. My wife's texting me.
Well, you're
Get
right.
off. You're watching Uhtred, and I'm like 10 more minutes. He just got to Wessex.
Taking her shit this long.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
But you know what I mean? I'm just confessing.
Your legs are so numb.
I'm just confessing, like, I don't like that about me, and I pray. You know, again, not to compare the two distractions, but alcohol and Uhtred, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's me going, I don't want to face the challenge of doing the right thing. I just want to ignore it right now. You know.
It's funny you say that. My dad, a couple days ago, actually about a week ago now. Actually, no, it's Christmas Eve. My grandma fell and broke her collarbone, and she's 92. He's, you know, she lived in New York most of his life, her life and his life. She moved here in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And kind of his responsibility to take care of her kind of in the end stages of life. And
right.
Like, he was excited about it, I think, initially. And then, you know, she just had a lot of health issues now. And had to move her into a nursing home this last week. But he came to me the other day. He's like, man, I'm so anxious. Like, he was like, you know the feeling. It's like, you feel like you have 1,000 pounds on your chest. You can't get a full breath.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you can do, what you do. It's just you're constantly ruminating and thinking about stuff. And he's like, I have everything I've ever wanted. I've recovered from my divorce with your mom. I'm grieving your sister's death in a healthy way. He's like, I have everything I wanted. I've rebuilt my life to the exact place that I wanted it to be. He's like, sure, I'm really sad about my daughter. I'm really sad about losing my wife and the divorce and all that. But he's like, I'm content, yet I'm still anxious and spun up into this ball of nerves. And he goes, I think it's because I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything that I've ever worked for. And then a few minutes later, he's like, I also realized I'm an addict. He goes, I hurt my meniscus the other day playing pickleball, had surgery, wanted to come back and play. He's like, now I can't play. I came back, injured it too soon, so now I'm going to be out for 6 months. He's like, that is the biggest source of my anxiety right now. Not my mom dying in the nursing home, not this. He goes, I've made pickleball my idol.
Your life.
He goes, I'm an addict. He goes, I may not struggle with substances, but he's like, I'm in Al-Anon because of your mom. Like, I know the 12 steps. And he goes, one of my best friends looked at me and goes, Jeff, you're an addict. And your poison is pickleball. Yeah. And he's like, he broke it all down. And he's like, all right, one of my best friends that I play pickleball with is Nate Bargatze's dad. The biggest comedian in the world. He's a big time, magician. He's like, I love hanging out with him. And I thought to myself, oh, if I can't play pickleball, I'm not going to be able to hang out with this guy anymore, and I'm going to lose my friends. Back to like you talking about, friends and the importance of community and all that stuff. And I'm realizing even at 65, I look at my dad thinking, he's had a rough go of it, but he's always seemed to have it all together. And something as small as having to sell his mom's house is overwhelming him now. He used to lead a trip of 100 of us to Europe every summer. Everything under the sun went wrong, and it just slid right off his back. Like, it was nothing for him. And it's crazy to me that you can get so spun up after being just so consistent your whole life, and then at that stage of your life, that's when it hits you, and like now you're having to relearn how you do everything. And I say that to just say to everyone, it's like you never have it figured out. You never, and we all never know what can disrupt it.
You said every single human is an addict. Yeah, I mean that's one thing my wife learned, and my kids learned watching me. It's everybody is, and even when you quit one. You just see the others, and you might lean on the other. I dare anybody to really sit down, have an honest conversation with yourself, and just name one thing. This will, to me, this sheds light on humanity. Name one thing that you don't turn into a coping mechanism. Even beautiful things. I can't. Even kids, having kids. You don't have kids for the kids. You have kids because you basically want a pet for you. And that's tough to raise kids and go, you're not.
Yeah, you want to own humans.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I do this as a basketball coach. You're coaching your son. Like sometimes, like my kid, really good little point guard. Like, like sometimes my self-worth in the moment, like during watching him play, 100%. I'm like, okay, he had a horrible game. And like, I'll walk out of the gym with my head hung, like, not embarrassed for my kid, but like, I'm living vicariously through him in a sense.
Dude.
And I'm like,
because Eric sucks at basketball.
I do. Basketball is not my sport, and like so it's wild for him to be like
it is
basketball
wild.
and football
it's
for him
so
to be able to
funny
stud
to
at
me.
that. And like I was a soccer player, and tennis player. Like that was my thing.
No, I think. I mean, again, it's to me that again back to how do you not fall to your knees and go, God, thank you. I do have a Savior. Like Christ is your Son, and you really. You really substituted him, like he paid for all this stuff, because again, if you don't agree that your wife is probably just another coping mechanism, you're lying to yourself. I don't care who you are. I mean, that is, you didn't marry your wife to serve your wife for the rest of your life. You married your wife because she was hot. She made you feel good, and
made you
she
look
was
good.
Awesome to hang. Yeah, and
ego.
And I don't think that's like sad. The world is busted. Let's all go hang ourselves. Like that's just a realization. Like it's a great realization for you in parenting to go, my son isn't me. I'm not some Christmas tree and he's just some ornament. He's his own tree, and God, he's God's. He's not even mine.
Nope. Yep.
He's the Lord's. So I need to just back off, and when he says you want to shoot hoops, Dad, say and because I'm the same way, man. I mean, I have a song called Chapel, and it's about how I ruined sports for that kid, and I've been apologizing for it ever since, man. I mean, and he plays on the basketball team I coach, but I mean, this song is about his first basketball practice, and I just was like, dude, how was it? Are you jacked? Did it just, are you? And he said, Dad, do you know there's 274 light bulbs in the scoreboard? And I was like, why were you counting light bulbs? I was like, I was like, yeah, but did you play basketball? You know, but
No.
And then you're like,
anyway,
man, maybe he's a genius.
yeah.
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
No,
but,
thank you for that.
Yeah, man. I mean,
That's wild.
again, back to just name one. And that's the thing, man. I think that's going to be the ultimate. That's going to be awesome about heaven is to wake up and to go, this coffee I'm drinking, I'm not coping with anything. And dude, can you imagine what coffee tastes like? Or just a drop of life tastes like with no sin or no malicious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't even say a sentence to fathom it. You know what I mean? Man. It just and I think that's that's one tough thing humanity has a problem with just embracing is like, no, man. If you woke up and your skin basically turned blue when you have impure motives, you'd look like Smurf all day. You literally don't turn on your blinker without some sinful motive. You know what I'm saying? And even our goodness is just laced with some ickiness. And let's just have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it. And I think that.
And I think what you're talking about, like, that's always the elephant in the room. And
totally.
we always dance around it. And, I mean, I love the fact that you are taking that approach and just having those conversations. And with your family in particular, with your kids, like, I've tried to start doing that in the last 5-6 years with my own kids. Like, I grew up in a very sheltered home. Like, I could hear my parents fight, but they always did it on the other side of a door. So it was really hidden from me. But, like, there was supposed to be separation there. And I always sat on the other side of the door listening, like, all right, what's going on, because this is indicative of what I'm doing in the family, and I need to figure out, okay, my dad's crying because my mom said this, I need to go help him. Oh, my mom's upset, I need to go help her. Yeah. Whereas with my kids, it's like, all right, we had a fight, we're arguing, this is what we're arguing about. You have nothing to do with it. You did nothing wrong. Like,
we're good.
We're all good. But like, I think it's my own childhood trauma of feeling like I had to be the fixer in my family. It's like, I'm petrified of creating that in my own kids just by default, because that's my tendency. Right. So I have to be very purposeful about those conversations. But even in those conversations, oftentimes it feels like I'm manipulating a situation
to get it to where I
think it's going to be healthier than my situation. Yeah. And then again, where's the line? What's healthy? What's not? I just feel like I have to make the next right decision and what feels right at the time. And if I'm doing it with that intent, I think hopefully the outcome is going to be better than the outcome of my childhood. Right. But it's like I'm trying to break a cycle, I guess, like anyone would, and take the good stuff from my childhood and the way my parents parented and raised me, and remember the good stuff, but get rid of the bad shit. I mean, I think a lot of parents were doing it for the first time. Everyone's doing it for the first time. So you have 6 kids, so you've gotten to do it 6 times, and obviously I'm doing it different with the second. But I don't feel like I'm doing it better either. I'm just doing it different. Yeah, and I've learned more about myself even in the process of raising kids than I ever thought I would. Oh yeah, and it's like a constant, like, if you do approach it in a healthy way, there has to be constant ego death happening, because if it's not, you're not giving what you're supposed to be. Dude, you just
said it. I think you just said it should be the title of this podcast is ego death. It's the sooner my sons and daughters die to themselves and live as in Christ, that's just contentment and peace, and it's the ultimate realization that this down here is not the end all be all. Life is not this precious goal. It ends. It's gone most of the times when you're not prepared. And I'm very familiar with death, and I love that. I think that has a lot to do with my perspective. It comes for all of us, and it's very real. And just the ultimate reality is there's no perfect. When I always tell my wife, I'm like, when we're not fighting, it's nice, it's a fun phase, but we're just building up resentment for the next fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may make it past something today without saying something that you did that pissed me off, but I'll probably think of it next Friday when the volcano erupts.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, you remember last Tuesday, you know, you said I didn't help enough. Well, that was hurtful, Laney. You know what I mean? What we up to?
Guess we need to wrap soon.
Wrapping up? Okay.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that exactly what you're saying. I've been doing the same exact thing, and it's crazy. Real quick.
Yeah.
Want to talk about
this
2026 music that you got coming out? What are your plans? The
Dude,
Cliff
I don't
Notes
know.
version.
I don't
That's
know.
kinda
You know,
cool,
there's so my record deal is up, which is crazy. I don't know if y'all like, and I asked this not in like a this is just like a how it goes way. I've always just been dropped. And so I've never made so I've never made it like where you're at the end of the paper, you know? And so that's
You're on RCA?
Yeah. And I don't know, I don't know.
We were dropped from RCA.
Okay, there you go. Team, let's go. So I'm done, and that also means I've had a publishing deal since 2005 somewhere, and that also ends in April. So I'm like, what does a man, what does someone my age do? You know,
free agency.
Yeah, it's and so
well, wherever you go, make sure they have some skin in the game, or else they're not gonna help you. They gotta be making some money.
Yeah.
You've seen it happen, man. They're like, oh, someone gets a really good new record deal, and they're like, yeah, we'll restructure your deal. You probably deserve it, and that's great. But we have this other person because we're literally gonna we're making a lot more money than them, and we're just gonna put them right in your place. Have fun, figure it out. Good job.
I've felt that.
We experienced it at Curb.
Yeah,
it was like they're like, well, we're gonna push this one because we have a 360 deal. We're like, well, you never asked us for a 360.
Yeah.
We probably would
have known that you were actually going to push the record. We would have given you.
Yeah.
You know what?
We'll
give you a little bit.
We'll
give you a little merch and publishing if we knew that you're just going to leave us out to the wolves now.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things we don't know how to do.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I'm excited about is we've been approached by some really talented people about kind of a show around my family.
That's cool.
And I gotta tell you, it's scary, but you know, most awesome things are.
Yeah.
But I just, I'm kind of prayerfully I just want to protect what our family has and what God's done to it. But I can also see that as a natural, like, I just love existing there, and sharing about my family. Yeah. So I could see that as kind of being a driver for there's a couple things that I do outside of music. One is I do this Duck Buck Co. clothing line, and I do also a non-alcoholic beer with Athletic called Fancy Like, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I could see my music, this and that non-alcoholic beer kind of being on the shoulders of that show type of thing. And so that is very, I'm leaning that way. That's awesome. and then not doing your traditional deal thing. Because man, just being honest, I've never been like country radio's golden child. Anything I've had played, it's been driven by the public or viral things. And so I don't know, man. I really have a lot of. It's an interesting year for me. And I've also thought about, which y'all have probably done this, is I've thought about catalog sale, like selling some of that type of stuff and saving. I don't know, dude. I'm so uneducated in those parts of life. Yeah. I have a lot to learn this year and a lot to decide. So we'll see.
Well, it sounds like you're in a cool position.
To
have the freedom to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And not have to do it from a desperate place either. I think we've been forced to do that a few times. And looking back on it, there's some regret there. And just jumping into something just because it felt like it was your only option. So,
right.
So jealous in a sense that you do have just that presence of mind and that what you've built for yourself to be able to have that. And whether you had or not, I mean, I think you're also the type of person that, like, if you were in a desperate place, it seems like you would choose your family over that
Oh,
desperation.
100%.
Every time.
Dude, my
And I
favorite
think that's
thing
a
I'm
beautiful
doing
thing.
right now is coaching basketball. Honestly, I coach. My 3 sons are all on the team. I made my 8th grader play up,
That's cool.
and we're literally living the dream.
That's
I mean,
so
we
cool.
packed out high school gyms, intensity, parents going nuts, refs yelling. It is
Yeah.
awesome.
It's great.
It's just the best.
That's
and
so fun.
And that basketball court you put in your house is
yeah, we got a
awesome,
little
too.
half
I mean,
court,
yeah.
and that's where we practice.
That's cool.
And dude, it's so much fun.
That's
It's
awesome.
so
I love
much
that.
fun. Yeah.
Well, we really
So.
appreciate you coming on
Dude,
today,
thanks
man.
for having me.
It's been
one of my
nice.
favorite
Thank you.
conversations
Heck
that
yeah,
we've had.
dude. It
It's-
it wasn't what I expected, honestly.
me neither, to
so
be honest. But,
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
do a
you.
good job.
Well, we appreciate you.
Come
Y'all
on.
check out Walker Hayes. If you haven't, you're
There he
hiding
is.
under a rock. But he's got some amazing stuff, and be on the lookout for whatever he's got coming in 2026. We appreciate you, brother. And,
Thank y'all.
We'll see y'all
Thanks,
next
man.
time. Thank you.